Alright gang, so I'm going to take a quick little video here to show you what happens if you have your laser cutter and your Glowforge is not quite cutting the way it should. Like maybe halfway through something, it's kind of a little bit in one area, it doesn't cut through, and the other area over here cuts through perfectly fine. Here is something that I found out, and I'm going to show this to you. Now, I have another video coming up here. You'll see the laser is actually quite dirty. Believe it or not, I'm doing this on purpose to inform you guys exactly what to do. So, this little doodad right here, yep, your little Glowforge box right here that contains all your cutting information for your laser, which your laser actually, the CO2 portion goes in through here and then down through this configuration and basically comes out the bottom through a lens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly what to do when this is acting up and you can't get nice clean cuts. First thing you want to do here is you actually want to take this, and it's magnetic, which you guys should know this, but just to show you, you kind of tilt it, pull it up, and pull it forward. Now, you also have this little ribbon right here. This little ribbon has a little, as you can see, a little tab. Take that and you want to firmly pull that off. Just put it back for right now. And then what you'll see is you'll see your circuit board. There's where your ribbon just was. And then you'll also see, if I'm correct on this, I should see my lens should probably have those little spots on them. Now you can't see it perfectly, but you see that little area right in there where it looks like a little cloudy area. Yep. That right there is part of the whole problem. And the other thing is, it's probably like that out here on this lens as well. So let's see if I can pull that up. You can see that, yes. You can see just a little bit of cloudiness on this lens here, which means it doesn't have a chance to get 100% totally focused. So I'm going to show you how to take care of this. Now, everybody asks, what is the blue thing? This is the blue thing. Take that, put it down in there. You hear that nice little click? That's the lens popping out. There's your lens right there. So now, as you can see, there's a little spot that you can see right in the center. I'm going to show you how to take care of that without having to buy a whole new lens assembly. And you can see I have a whole bunch of junk all the way around it. It looks pretty nasty right now, and that's just from all the cutting I'm doing. But I'm going to show you exactly how to take care of that with a nice little product that I'm not endorsing, but I'm saying it works. And this is rubbing compound by 3M that I found actually takes out and removes the scratches and swirl marks. Obviously on cars, well, let's see what it does in glass, and it works. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that right now. Alright, so here I am at the workbench, have everything out. Now, I think you'll be able to see it a little bit better right there. All of that nice little crud on the top part of the lens right there. It kind of looks like a dull spot. Alright, and also you'll see that it is on this portion as well, and you kind of see it a little bit. You can get it up there, kind of out of the glare. That part that kind of looks greenish right there, that is the other area where there is some light damage from the CO2 laser itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use this 3M rubbing compound. This is what I found actually works. Instead of going out and spending the money to do this, I figured worst case scenario, it's gonna not work and I gotta go spend money on a new lens, or it's gonna work. So let's see what happens. So here's what I ended up doing. You want to take this, and obviously you want to give it a nice little shake to make sure everything's the way it needs to be. Then take just a little dab on a nice clean cloth. And what I do here, and I mean it's literally a small little dab, and now fold the cloth over and touch each other right there just to get a little bit on there. Now, on this lens, I'm going to show you what this looks like here. See that right there? That dull center spot? If you take this and you start to working around, in circles in both ways and across and X patterns back and forth and back and forth. It's going to look a little dull right now, but you can already see that part came off of there, right? Okay, so why spend all this money and get a new laser lens, and then look at all that junk. That's all the junk right there that came off of here. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to clean it up with a nice clean portion of the towel. And you don't want to touch this with your fingerprints, because the oil on your skin will actually do a lot of damage to these lenses. So now we have this nice and buffed and shined. Here you go. I'm going to show you exactly what this looks like. Look at that. So why is everyone spending all the money on these lenses? And I've just proven that it's the same one, because there's the crud that I still didn't wipe off on the outside of the lens or anything. So there you go. All of that right there, and it cleans up rather nice. Like I said, it's nice and shiny. So you don't have to worry, you know, about scratches or anything like that. That laser gets beautiful. It's like a mirror. Now, same thing for this portion right here. Once again, you see, it's all cruddy and junky on there. So that other dot that I had next to the dirty one, take your finger on that one. We're going to do the same thing right here with the clean spot. Just to show you. No sleight of hand here, no doing anything kind of crazy. Now the other thing is, take notice I am kind of not touching any of the electronics. I'm touching just the outer shell of this. So you don't want to do anything to break off this important circuit board or anything like that. And you're only going to give it a little bit of pressure. You don't want to be forceful with it or anything along those lines. You just want to kind of rub it back and forth, counterclockwise, clockwise, back and forth, up and down, X formation. And then, once again, you got to do this right here, and you're all set. Alright. So now that we have a clean lens, and we have another clean lens right there, now it's time to check this inside. And it looks really good on the inside, so we're good on that. And then we want to reinstall the laser lens. Now a lot of people wondered what this little tool is. Obviously you see on here it says to install and to remove. Now the removal is the magnetic side, obviously. See that? Removes it. Now to install it, you do exactly the opposite. You take this, put it on here, turn it upside down so it does not fall off. Okay, remember you want to point upward. And then take this housing and you want to just take it, put it up inside, and it's in just like that. Now your lens, which is crystal clear, is back inside. So there you go. All of that, and I'm going to check your components here, make sure everything's okay, there's no obstructions or pieces of plastic or dust in the way. So that's how you do that, and we're going to install it back in and make sure everything works. One thing I did fail to mention, these lenses right here, you also want to make sure that these are crystal clear as well. So if they are not, you're not going to get proper readings, you know, from measuring the height, the distance, or anything else. That's why you want to give it that mirror shine, just like the lens on the inside that you can see shining. Now you can see these two lenses are shining as well. So now we can go back to installing. Alright, so now it's time to reinstall. And one of the most important things, obviously you want to put the clip back in here with the wire. And you want to very carefully install it, as you'll see that and that line up with these holes. Now obviously these 4 little contact points have to match up over here. You're going to feel magnets, which are these 4 points right here, that align to these 4 magnets right here. When you put this in, my suggestion is obviously press the ribbon down gently, and then you want to just kind of look at it and push it backwards into it. Now you'll feel this whole carrier move. But if you can easily have it go back and forth and like this, once again the power is off, you should be good to go. Now, one of the things that I hear a lot about is people who can't get their laser to actually focus the indoor center. This Glowforge logo that's right here is extremely important and actually a functional device. As you see, there's a little point right here. That point actually goes with the camera that's up here, and that will go under there. Some people are putting tape or something else over that, and if you do that, you won't be able to function because it's not going to allow your laser to center correctly. And the other thing I want to point out is make sure that your lens on your top of your bed is also clean so it can read this. Now, what had happened earlier is I was cutting out a clear acrylic puzzle, and I noticed that on the right side, everything was kind of working, and on the left side, it didn't cut through. So I took this out and inspected it, and sure enough, that's what I found. So I'm going to try with this piece that's in here and see if I can actually get this to cut all the way through. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to actually power on the unit and see if everything works. Now here's that important part I was telling you about. As you can see, it actually lines up with the lens there to make sure everything is working the way it should. And if that is not the case, it's not going to work for you. On my screen, everything says centering, so it's doing its thing. It's thinking and doing the calibration. All right, and now it went to the home position, which is very important. If everything is working, that means it should work. And it should next go into what's called the scanning portion, which what will happen is that's when this camera right here is actually going to pick up the materials that you have in the bottom, whether it's proof grade or regular materials that you decided to choose. Now, if it's proof grade, it's going to pick up the little QR code that's down in the lower corner, and that camera will actually tell the program on Glowforge what to do. So it is ready to go because it picked up that it says ready, picked up my material. So that means everything's working the way it should, and we should be good to go. So let's see what happens. And here we are, and it says that it took my item that I want to have cut, and it's telling me it is a time of 38 minutes and 11 seconds. Of course, I already knew that because it's a 1/4 inch thick clear acrylic jigsaw puzzle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to obviously make sure everything's lined up. That's why I have these tape that you see in the back. And I have tape along the side here as well. I actually have everything ready to go because I do multiples of these things, and I want to make sure I don't waste any material whatsoever. So I use tape in the background to actually show where things are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the little blinking button, and we're going to start right now and see exactly what happens. are good to go.